This hour, we start in Ukraine as fighting rages around the city of Kharkiv.
Officials in the Ukrainian city of Kharkiv say the number of people killed in a Russian airstrike has now risen to 4. Another 31 people were injured in the attack on the city in the northeast of Ukraine.
Vladimir Putin stated that the government currently has no plans to take control of the northeastern city of Kharkiv, despite the country having just achieved its largest territorial gains in 18 months. On the other hand, as Russian bombardment increases, authorities in the area are evacuating the town by going door to door. These pictures belong to Kharkiv. There, Russia began an unexpected onslaught last week. According to one estimation, Russian soldiers had advanced roughly 10 kilometers, opening a new front in the conflict with Ukraine. In KHARKIV itself, the 16.5-hour air raid alert has now been removed. We will reveal the details in today's video, but make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more updates. If you see this map, you could see that Russia has gotten control of Kharkiv up here. And this is changing the war scenario. It appears that there is a discrepancy between President Putin's statement that there are no intentions to seize Kharkiv and the real events taking place in that region. Indeed, those images show how this battle has clearly transitioned away from trench combat in this front line's northeastern sector. The statements made by Vladimir Putin during a news conference in China, indicating that there are currently no intentions to attempt to seize the city of Kharkiv, are unlikely to provide a sense of relief to the thousands of residents who still reside there. Two factors are involved. First, about 880,000 Russian troops were involved in capturing the smaller town of Avdiivka further south. Given this, the estimated 5,000 to 10,000 Russian troops that have crossed the border are likely not yet capable of encircling the city. Second, Vladimir Putin's statements about his intentions for the ongoing invasion are not taken seriously. In 2022, he declared he had no intention of invading Ukraine, a statement that has shaped the perception of most Ukrainians since then. He also discussed Ukraine's requirements for peace, which include the complete withdrawal of Russian forces and the restoration of the country's historic borders, including Crimea, which has been occupied since 2014. The current issue stems from his description of these conditions as wishes rather than battlefield realities. Fierce warfare is undoubtedly expected to continue. But a question arises. What evaluations about their capacity to hold the line as they wait for resupply of munitions from America and others are being heard from the Ukrainian side amid all the furious fighting? But what President Zelensky's remarks reveal may shed some light. He visited Kharkiv and called off his overseas trip, indicating that things were really tough but manageable. Previously, Ukrainian authorities have admitted when additional territory has been lost. Zelensky claims the Russian offensive has advanced about 10 kilometers at its deepest point and blames the West for the lack of air defenses, which he keeps urging to counter heavy bombing. It's clear his troops are struggling. Reserve soldiers are being redeployed from heavily attacked areas like Chasiv Yar, a practice ongoing for months. Personnel from Zaporizhia are being dispatched even farther south. This suggests Ukraine is thinning its front line elsewhere while trying to close the gap and stop the Russian advance in the northeast. It's a front line that's evolving and, more significantly for Ukraine, showing signs of strain. To be quite honest with you, it is too soon to tell whether or if Russian territorial advances in the Kharkiv region will continue. They have slowed down, and we can be positive that they have no immediate plans to try to encircle or attack this sizable metropolis. Putin himself stated today that was not the intention. However, it is still too early to tell when things will stabilize, because they want to get within Kharkiv's artillery range, and in general, they just want to put as much pressure on the Ukrainian military as they can, on as many fronts as they can, before mobilization begins to take place and more Western aid begins to arrive. According to reports from the head of the Ukrainian army, Ukrainian forces are also getting ready to defend the Sumy region. Yes, we are aware of that. And there's no doubt that the entire nation may be anticipating it. An additional cross-border operation of that nature to identify weak spots in the contact lines. Situated to the northwest of Kharkiv, the Sumy Oblast forms a vast, twisting border spanning several hundred kilometers. Should Ukraine be unable to defend the entire region with sufficient reserves, Russia may identify a vulnerability and attempt to launch another equally opportunistic attack to further tax the Ukrainian military. Discussing the situation in the town of Kharkiv, the Russian military's familiarity with the region is evident. In the eastern part of Ukraine, Kharkiv was previously captured by Russian forces during the early stages of their full-scale invasion in early 2022. Located approximately 10 kilometers away from Kharkiv, Ukrainian police maintain control despite street clashes as it sits near the Russian border. Video footage obtained from the Ukrainian Border Service depicts intense combat in Kharkiv, with Ukrainian troops targeting Russian forces. While acknowledging significant street fighting in the town's northern area, Ukrainian authorities assert that Russians have not gained control of Kharkiv. Residents involved in evacuation efforts claim to have evacuated around 6,000 people from the town and its surroundings. However, they also report that entering the town is impossible due to the intense fighting. Russian control over territories, particularly in the context of Ukraine, carries significant geopolitical implications that extend beyond the immediate conflict zone. When Russia establishes control over a region, it not only alters the territorial integrity of the affected country, but also challenges the sovereignty and security of neighboring nations. Understanding the implications of Russian control is crucial for devising an effective response from NATO and the West, particularly in terms of providing military aid to Ukraine. Firstly, Russian control often involves the annexation or occupation of territories, as seen in the case of Crimea in 2014. This action violates international norms and principles, undermining the post-World War II order based on respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity. The annexation of Crimea demonstrated Russia's willingness to use military force to redraw borders, setting a dangerous precedent for regional stability. Secondly, Russian control extends beyond military occupation to include political and economic influence. Through support for separatist movements and the installation of pro-Russian governments, Russia seeks to exert control over decision-making processes within the occupied territories. This not only undermines democratic governance, but also creates a puppet state that serves Russian interests, further eroding the sovereignty of the affected country. In response to Russian control, NATO and the West must adopt a multifaceted approach that combines diplomatic, economic, and military measures. Diplomatically, it is essential to condemn Russian aggression and support diplomatic efforts aimed at resolving the conflict through peaceful means. Economic sanctions can also be imposed to exert pressure on Russia and deter further expansionist actions. However, military aid to Ukraine plays a crucial role in strengthening its defense capabilities and deterring further Russian aggression. Providing military assistance, including weapons, training, and intelligence support, enhances Ukraine's ability to defend its sovereignty and resist Russian advances. This was demonstrated during the Battle of Avdiivka in 2017, where Ukrainian forces successfully repelled a Russian-backed offensive with the help of Western military aid. Moreover, military aid to Ukraine sends a clear message of solidarity and support from NATO and the West, bolstering Ukraine's morale and resolve in the face of Russian aggression. It also serves as a deterrent to future Russian incursions, as it demonstrates the consequences of further aggression in terms of increased resistance. So Russian control over territories represents a significant threat to regional stability, and the principles of sovereignty and territorial integrity. In response, NATO and the West must adopt a comprehensive approach that combines diplomatic, economic, and military measures. Military aid to Ukraine plays a crucial role in strengthening its defense capabilities and deterring further Russian aggression, while also sending a clear message of solidarity and support. NATO and the West can uphold the principles of international law and defend the security of the Euro-Atlantic region. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more updates. We will catch you in the next one.